Hello, welcome back to BAME Farm. Well, here we are. I'm going to show you guys how we've been cutting trees down before we turn them into chips. Now, before I get lots of nasty comments about I'm cutting too low, or somewhat snide remarks, I guess. Yeah, I'm cutting it off at the ground, and I'm going to point out that there has been some problems. Every once in a while I'll catch a little bit of dirt. It's not great, and if I do that enough, it might dull the blade. But I've gotten pretty good at resharpening. What really messes up the blades is when you hit a rock. There's a few rocks I've tossed from the field into this, what was overgrown with brush. And a lot of them are little stones. You see the big ones, but the little ones, catch them right there by the stump. And those will really mess up the bottom side of the teeth on the chain, which would be the right side, when the saw's in an upright position. And it'll take off. We got square corners, so the teeth, each tooth on the right does not have a good sharp corner to cut with. I sharpened it out once, and it still wouldn't cut very straight, and my resharpening didn't last long. So, had to get a fresh chain, which never underestimate the power of a fresh chain. And we're cutting. Still working on the wedge here. Took a little longer than I expected. I'm about ready to go for the top. Now if we kind of examine my head closely at the moment, my hood's up. It was a little chilly. I don't know, maybe the day in the 40s. So I wasn't dressed super warm, but dragging brush and bending over behind the chainsaw here, I broke a sweat. At least enough to stay warm in a hoodie. But this is about the only thing I'm going to say that I like about John Deere products on this hoodie, is that I can put the hood up with earmuffs underneath. I look sort of like Princess Leia underneath. There we go. Yeah, my head looks really big because I got headphones on underneath. We have a little bit of safety around here. Now, our plans with this area is we're just getting back already farmed field edge. Yeah, there's 15 feet, maybe 20, where the tree roots are going underneath and sucking nutrients and moisture from the crops. Now, by cutting off the trees, we will have those 15-20 feet of field space back at much better productivity. The corner beans won't struggle along. They should have a more happy life that's not shaded or starved. And eventually, where these stumps are, we'll slowly work our way back closer to the creek or the ditch that's behind my butt right now, and gain another 30 feet plus of field at some point. Now, if I had cut these stumps or trees off and left a 3-foot stump, I could come back and bulldoze them out. If I had a bulldozer, I don't know if that's a good budget item right now. Now, right here I'm getting a little creative with the chainsaw. Kind of a little bit of kickback. But as you can see, it's got a wide buttress root coming out at the base there. I didn't know how well I could get a good level cut started, so I kind of stuck the tip in and then worked my way back out. And we're cutting. We're cutting some more. And the biggest reason for the flush cut is so it's easy to come back and bush hog. And there's no stump to deal with. If I had a stump to deal with, they have to come back later, try to cut it off, hope it went well, that I wouldn't have to use a wedge or an axe and a sledgehammer or some combination of hitting and sharp devices to take off the stump. As we come to the end here, we have a little Kesha and Pitbull in our head and yell, "Timber!" Now granted that it kind of splintered off. I didn't have a full cut all the way across. Quick clean up the little spikes. Try to save our tires. And that looks like a pretty good tree to use for a building project or lumber.